Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we do have a full moon in the sign of Scorpio. So I did go ahead and listen to the new moon reading that I did about 6 months ago in the sign of Scorpio, which was like the start of this cycle that we are seeing coming to a close with this full moon that we're having. So in that reading, I did discuss a lot about that scorpionic energy and how it can present and why, all of the different motivations and like what drives this energy, like where it can be coming from, whether it's coming from somewhere that's subconscious, that's like the shadow side that we are unaware of, our triggers, our fears, the things that are uncomfortable, or whether it's coming from a place that is very strategic, is a place that you are aware of and you are consciously, trying to control, to gain something for yourself, to gain some kind of power, control, usually to cause harm in some way. So that's why this energy can be very tricky, problematic, like scary, because on one hand, it's an energy that is very healing. It can go very deep. It has the capacity to be very deep, very intuitive, very capable and adept at going to like those deep dark depths and really analyzing things, bringing things up to the surface, finding the medicine, curing it, like finding the antidote to the poison so that there can be a transformation, for the better. But on the other hand, it's an energy that has these capabilities, has all of the tools that it needs to do good, but it chooses to trick, it chooses to be sneaky, it chooses to stay behind the scenes and hide, try to present as something else to get something for itself. So it can be like a very abusive energy where themes like power dynamics, sex, money, control, like all of these things really come into play here. So like every other energy, there's a good side, like a very deep healing good side, or there can be like it can be very bad. It kind of reminds me of the Pisces energy, like how I synthesize that Pisces energy. It's a little similar, but they have their differences. But something that was coming up a lot in the last reading that I did, and the new moon in Scorpio reading that I did, like around 6 months ago, it was a time where we were probably just starting to like get glimpses, like flashes, like pieces of information where you could have been like starting to like see deeper truths, see like what's really going on here, like what's really the driving force behind a certain energy, whether it was coming from you or someone else. It was a time that could have been, like starting to illuminate those type of things for you, where today with this full moon, it's like a time where it can be coming full circle. Like you can fully be illuminated, like you can fully see the bigger picture to something around this time. You can start to like tie up the loose ends and see something for what it is, like really uncover something, unearth something. And in order for us to do that effectively, I was talking about, needing to know thyself. Knowing thyself is going to be the key to seeing things clearly, to seeing, what's yours to carry, what's your responsibility, like what's coming from you, what's yours to work through, work out, to accept, about yourself, to look at in the face and to work on, because it's yours. It could be your trigger, again, like an uncomfortable emotion like jealousy, envy, something that it's like it can be very hard to admit to or to look at, because it's like, no, like that's bad. I shouldn't be feeling these things. But as humans, we all have things that we're triggered by. We all have certain conditioning, and these things could elicit these kinds of feelings within us. And then if it goes unchecked, this is when it can be harmful to yourself and to others. So it's like seeing like, what do I need to work on myself so that I'm not like projecting all over the place or being harmful. So my shadow, isn't taking the reins in some way. And instead you can admit to it, admit to your faults and work on it, want to become better. Again, find the medicine, want to transform it, to transmute it so that it can present itself in a different way. It can express, that energy can express itself in a different way versus that like more harmful way that it was expressing itself when it was like unconscious and like subconscious, when you weren't like aware of it, like consciously aware of that energy and what was really happening behind the scenes. So in order to know like what is your responsibility and what someone else's responsibility, because this energy, again, like it can be tricky, it can try to manipulate you, it can try to control you, it can try to domineer you, and it can know exactly like what buttons to push to do that. So you have to know thyself in order to see clearly when someone is doing that to you. Like if someone is doing that to you, if someone is pushing stuff on your plate that just doesn't belong there, you know, is making you carry things that are not meant for you to carry. It's like they're the ones that need to look at themselves. They're the ones that need to uncover a truth about themselves or take responsibility, work on themselves in some way, you know what I mean? Instead of like pushing it on you. And to know, you know, where everything goes, to make sure everything is where it needs to be, it comes down to knowing thyself. Again, so you can know what's yours to carry, what's yours to work through, and what's someone else's. To take responsibility for, you know, you can be aware like when someone is putting something on your plate that does not belong there, so that you can protect yourself, you know, from any like mistreatment, something being unfair. So you're not like under the thumb of someone's manipulations and like control tactics because of work that they're not doing. Like you should never be making up the difference for anybody, you know? We all need to come to a place where we just need to like carry our own stuff, you know what I mean? Handle our own business. Take responsibility like for ourselves. Everyone needs to take responsibility, full responsibility for themselves, and stop trying to like push things off your plate, try to justify things because you're too scared to look at yourself. You're too afraid to admit, you know, your uncomfortable feelings and emotions and thought patterns, thought processes surrounding certain things, you know, because like you don't want to accept that, yeah, maybe you've been harmful, maybe you've been a bad person, maybe you've done things you're not proud of, and that can be very difficult for people to like look at and to accept. So like the scorpionic energy will do whatever it needs to do to not have to look at itself, you know, again, whether that's subconsciously in a way that they're unaware they're doing that, or whether they're aware and they're being strategic and they're doing this on purpose, you know? Either way, like you don't want to get caught up in that, right? You want to make sure that you have the discernment to see like what's happening and to act accordingly, to do what's right, you know, to maintain justice and peace, you know, for things to be in alignment with divine law and order is how I like to look at it as well. Also, like, so you can be made aware, you know, because not everybody has the intention, you know, for things to be just and fair, and for things to be in alignment with law, divine law and order. Like, not everybody wants to do that, you know what I mean? So it's like being able to see right through those people and calling them out if you need to, you know, helping anybody that they could be targeting, you know, if it's in your place to. Of course, nuance exists, you know, like you have to take everything into consideration. But ultimately, the most important thing is to like get away from these people, you know what I mean? To make sure that you can see these people so that you can move away from them and not deal with them and not allow them access to you, you know? But yes, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and jump into these messages. I'm super excited to see like where spirit is going to take this message today. This is a very interesting energy, the scorpionic energy. It doesn't have to be all bad. I know we were talking about like the more like scary, dark expressions of it. But again, like I said, it does have like a very beautiful healing capability. And this can also be a good time, like a time where you're celebrating, like being able to like suss something out, like sniff something out, see something clearly, whether in yourself or someone else. So this could be a time where you're like, yes, you know, like I moved away from something, or I did transmute something, I worked on something, and now, you know, I'm not like being harmful to myself or to others, or like I just said, like you moved away from someone that could have been in that energy. And also, like I mentioned, with it being the full moon, it's also like a time where it's not, you're not just starting something, it's like it's a culmination, it's like a closing out, like where you're seeing like the bigger picture of something, you know, where something is being illuminated, where the cycle is completing. Okay, so again, check your birth chart if you want to see like what area of life this cycle could have been taking place for you. That can also provide a lot of insight too. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the spread. I'm going to start with the oracle cards. For those of us that are tuned in, give spirit this opportunity to give us a message for this full moon in Scorpio that they feel would be beneficial for us to have. What do they want us to focus on today? Let's see. Mm. Oh, bottom of the deck, we have this Aphrodite Eternal Love card, and I know that card came out as well for the new moon in Scorpio reading. So that's interesting. I was explaining in the new moon reading that a lot of the energy we were talking about, it was like playing out and manifesting in relationships, which is, usually the case, right? Relationships are like the biggest mirrors, our biggest means of like learning certain things, certain lessons. Okay, I think that's it. I only have 2 oracle card decks. I wasn't really feeling the other oracle card deck that I use. So yeah, I'm only using these 2 right here. So I am actually, because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull the tarot now too, just to have the full spread out right away. One more. Oh, a whole chunk. 3 more. Okay. Okay. Let's see what the message is. So right off the bat, I'm getting that you have the power. Spirit wants you to recognize your power in knowing that you can create boundaries, in your relationships, specifically like your sexual relationships, I feel is coming up here. Being able to create the boundaries in that space, like what you're gonna allow, what you feel comfortable with, like just taking charge in that area, speaking up and making sure that you are making your boundaries be known, be heard, so that there isn't any room for anybody to like cross your boundaries or like disrespect them. You don't want to like assume that somebody like knows your boundaries. Also maybe like have frequent communication, surrounding your boundaries or like surrounding this, so you're not assuming that somebody is respecting your boundaries, you know what I mean? Just because like maybe you didn't want to ask questions. It's like make sure that the communication is open, that you guys can talk, and everything is like very transparent. You don't feel afraid to ask questions, or if someone asks you questions, again, it's like everything is very transparent, and just like to touch base, like, oh, like I just wanted to see like, has anything changed? Do you still feel the same? Like, is everything okay? Like, just making sure that everything is okay and everyone's boundaries are being respected. Like that you're communicating your boundaries, and like just making sure that everything is okay in that department. Mostly they're just saying like you have say, you have control, like, you have to take matters into your own hands. Like, don't be afraid to initiate that conversation, to initiate, like these topics to like be talked about. Also to like do things very consciously as well, like don't allow yourself or others to like blame something else, like an outside force or something, for like why they behaved in a certain way or what caused them to do something. It's like, no, knowing that like you are the one in control of yourself and your actions, and like you're the one making decisions at the end of the day. Like, don't let anybody like control like the decisions that you make that are going to impact you, or try to like say like, oh well, I only did that because like they told me, or I was influenced, or it's like you can't fall back on that. Like, you can't blame that, you know what I mean? You have to take responsibility for your actions, your choices, what you do, how your life is impacted, and how you impact those that you are in relationship with, and like make sure that the decisions that you're making, you're considering the boundaries, like your boundaries, their boundaries, and you're not like trying to blame something outside of you. It's like take responsibility for your choices, your actions, how you're impacting, like how you're moving, And if you can take responsibility for yourself, then other people can take responsibility for themselves. You know what I mean? Like, we're all adults here. Like, we need to hold everyone accountable for their actions, right? And again, like how they're impacting. And I'm hearing like the promises they keep, or the promises you keep. Because specifically, I'm noticing right now that there is like an urge to want to expand, to want to have new experiences, and like plan for new experiences, like make space, make way for new experiences to align themselves to you, like to come into your life. Like a lot of us could be feeling the need to do something different, try something different, try something new that's going to expand our horizon in some way, that's going to like change things for us in some way. Like we are not, I'm seeing an energy here that wants to change, wants to grow, wants to experience. It's not an energy that wants to stay put, that wants to stay stable, doing what it's been doing. So that's why this energy of like needing to communicate and initiate conversation and like maybe reestablish boundaries or like talk about them, like it's needed right now, especially in relationships and like love relationships, sexual relationships. This is what's coming through here, because we also got like this sexual wisdom card, okay? So because there's this want for change, you know, we can't just keep this to ourselves. Like there are other people that are being impacted, and so we need to communicate to them, you know, like what it is that we're trying to do, and make sure that everyone is okay with that, that everyone's okay with these changes, you know, because you want to make sure that everybody is consenting, has consent, so they can make their own choices about whether or not like they're cool with it, they're fine, and you want to stay, they want to stay how things are, or if like readjustments need to be made. So yeah, I feel like the main message here is to speak up, to initiate conversation, to express yourself, express your needs and like what you're planning on doing, your plans, express your plans, because what I'm seeing is somebody wanting to do things like in silence, like somebody just wanting to not have these conversations, you know, not be considerate towards their partners and just do something behind the scenes in secret without saying a lot, like without bringing attention to it. Like just, it's like, I'm just gonna try this, I'm just gonna like do something different, but you have to tell them. This is what this is saying. It's like if you want to stay in alignment, again, like in alignment with divine law and order, if you want to stay in alignment with like goodness, what's just and fair, you would have a conversation. You would be transparent. You would be very forward, you know, very honest. But yeah, I am seeing like an energy that doesn't want to have a conversation for whatever reason. Like it's like an energy that doesn't want to speak up. This is an energy that is like afraid of speaking up, has anxiety about speaking up. They feel like there's going to be opposition and they want to keep things under wraps. They want to keep things silent. They are doing something behind the scenes. They are making some sort of plan to try something new, try something different, to go in a new way, a new direction. It's something that they feel is going to change things for them. Maybe it's something they feel like I've never done before, so this is going to like expand things for me. So I can be describing your energy or like someone you're dealing with, someone that you have a sexual relationship with. This could be like outing them or something, or it's trying to tell you to make sure that you're doing the right thing and like you're having the conversations that you need to have with the people that you need to have them with, because it's only fair, you know, like consent matters. Consent is important. And if you're like having a sexual relationship with someone under terms that you don't think you want to abide by anymore, like you're trying to go beyond the certain boundaries that you guys have established for yourselves in this relationship, then that needs to be discussed, right? To make sure that they're cool with it, to make sure that they're okay with it, so that you can make sure that you're considering them. So again, like it gives them the opportunity to also like make their own choice of whether or not this is okay with them and like whether or not they want to continue this relationship with you. So yeah, I don't know if this is coming from your end or if this is coming from the end of someone you're dealing with, but it is saying to have a conversation, ask questions, sit people down. Like you need to know. Like you need to know. There's something that someone needs to know here. I'm not gonna say like go through people's phones. I think just sitting down and asking questions, just making sure like everyone's on the same page. Like right now is not a time to assume that things are the same, that everything is the same. Right now is a time to just like sit down and like ask questions. Again, touch base, see where everyone's at, how everyone's feeling. How do they want to continue moving forward? If things are the same, do they want to continue moving forward in the same way, or are things changing, you know? Because yeah, I'm seeing that like to have a conversation and to tell people like where you're at, what your plans are, what you want to do or experience, or what you're curious about. It's not even like that it looks like you're curious about it or you or someone else. It looks like they're actively planning. It's like, you know, this is just an example, but it's like the person is already on the app. Like if there's an app and they're actively already on it. They are actively already seeking someone else or looking at someone else or even talking to them or planning. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's much more than I'm curious, I'm just thinking about this. It's like they're already in action. Like they are, it looks like very first beginning steps, but it's like it's already happening. You know what I mean? So it's like someone needs to know. So like someone needs to know that someone else is doing this, that someone else is planning on, looking outside of this relationship, or they're looking at someone, or they're, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Like they're planning to move towards something or try something else. And it's just, it looks like it's something new and different, and like that it hasn't been discussed and that it just needs to be discussed, like the boundaries need to be made like clear again. Like do we need to reestablish the boundaries? Are we going to expand the boundaries? Are the boundaries staying the same? So now this is outside of my boundaries. It has to do with that, like consent. And especially when you're talking about sexual relationships, right? It's like if you're gonna plan on having a sexual relationship with somebody else and you're already in like a relationship that's sexual, it's like, yeah, they have to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, unless that's like not your boundaries. But I'm assuming like for health reasons, you would want to tell somebody. I hope this is not what this is referring to. Like that there's something you need to tell somebody, like health wise. I'm not necessarily seeing that though, but yeah. Let me see. I'm just gonna pull some clarifiers with this deck just to see what other information wants to come out here about this. Yeah, it's like someone just doesn't want to consider somebody else. Oh my gosh. And someone is very, like, has so much anxiety over it. They're like, nope, I don't want to have this conversation. Like, I don't want to expose myself, or I don't want to, oh my gosh. Yeah, it's like, spirit is trying to guide you to love, to consideration, to what's right, like staying like as honest as possible, like as pure as possible, and when I use the word pure, like I'm not saying like an innocent little virgin child. Like I'm saying pure in the sense of like I'm not like out to get anything from you. I'm not like being strategic. I'm not lying. I'm not hiding. I'm not presenting as something that I'm not. It's like just being honest, being honest, forthcoming, direct, transparent, letting people make their choices, letting people consent. So yeah, I feel like there's a hard truth or something that needs to be communicated here. It has to do with boundaries. I think someone's boundaries here is getting crossed, or if they're not, then it's like there's something someone doesn't know. It's like you need to make sure someone's boundaries aren't getting crossed. You know what I mean? And so there needs to be a conversation here, not keep things secret. There needs to be consideration, love, kind of like wearing your heart on your sleeve. Like, this is what I'm planning. This is what I want to do. This is what I'm interested in. This is like what feels is right for me. I just wanted to bring it by you just to let you know. Is this okay with you? Can things remain the same between us, or do things need to get readjusted? I feel like there's someone here that things will definitely get readjusted, that this will not be okay with someone. And so there's just anxiety. I don't know. Or maybe someone already did it. Like maybe someone already looked outside of the relationship or did something outside of the boundaries, and like there's anxiety, and now like they need to come clean, but like they don't want to, they're afraid to, and you're being encouraged to, basically. Or there's someone you're dealing with that is doing something that like you need to know. It's only right and it's only fair for you to be in the know about, because it goes outside of your boundaries in some way. And if it doesn't, it's just something that hasn't been like discussed or talked about for there to be boundaries. So that means that there needs to be a conversation there so that you can like make sure that, you're being respected and considered, and that you're safe, that you feel safe here still, and you feel the same, and that you still want to share yourself in this way with this person or these people. There's just some information that needs to come out. And it's like someone needs to have the courage to initiate it. They need to take responsibility. They need to know, like, they need to make the choice. You know what I mean? To like bring this forward. You can't just stay passive here. Staying passive is a lie. It's like you're lying. Something needs to be expressed. And I keep seeing this seeker card. I don't know if you can see, it's like holographic, but it says the seeker. And it keeps prompting me to think of like check someone's phone, but I don't want to give that advice because I don't like that. I don't like checking people's phones. But maybe if someone's lying to you or something, that's how you can find out. And don't let them be like, you looked in my phone and you didn't respect my boundaries. You looked in my phone. If you find something like incriminating, no. Like, I looked in your phone because I had a feeling, that you weren't being honest with me. And look, I was right. Don't let anyone like flip that on you if that's you. I don't believe in looking in people's phones without their consent. But sometimes, you know what I mean? Like, if you feel like they're lying or you feel like there's something that's being hidden, and if that's the only way to find out, then I think, that's positive. That could be a good thing. I personally don't feel comfortable doing that, but like maybe just sit down and like just have the conversation, or maybe just like ask them like, okay, well, show me your phone like right now, or I don't know. That sounds so icky. It feels so icky to like even say that, because if you're in a relationship where like it comes down to that, like I wouldn't want to be in a relationship where I even have to ask for that, where it comes to that point where it's like, show me your phone right now. Like, ew, like I want to have like a trust. Like, I trust you. I don't need to see your phone. Like, I feel safe. I know who you are, and I know like that you wouldn't do that, but I know we live in a world where we can't be trusting people like that. That's gotten me into trouble for sure, which is why I'm probably gonna stay single for the rest of my life. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna do an oracle card from the Journey of Love deck because I did it for the new moon in Scorpio. So full circle moment. Let's pull one for today, see what comes out for us. Two came out. We have Towering Magnificence and Becoming. Okay, so I know Towering Magnificence, it has to do with like having a teacher, like finding a teacher, like a presence that's going to like enlighten you or something. Let's see exactly what it says. Okay, so it says, this oracle brings you comfort that your inner path, your opening up to direct experience of the divine presence, is happening now, according to divine timing and grace. This is also confirmation that you are connecting with your spiritual guidance more consciously now, and that any sense of self that appears to be falling away from you is because your divinity has outgrown it and a new awareness is taking its place. You are entering the presence of the truly great and sublime divinity. It is without form, yet exists within all forms. It is humbling and yet asks nothing of you. It just is, and when we encounter it, we are moved beyond words, beyond mind, and into realms of the heart that we may never have experienced before. It takes a brave soul to meet the towering majesty of divine presence. It can be a terrifying experience as limitations, preconceived notions, and identities crumble in the wake of its light. You are being brought to this place out of love because you are ready. Your soul has been craving connection to something so much larger than itself, to find something worthy to which it can devote itself entirely. This greatness is becoming available to you now, to be witness to the extent that is helpful, so that you may find the greater purpose of service which your heart craves. You are ready. I love this. I love this so much, especially with this scorpionic energy, with this, the Scorpio full moon, because a lot of stuff could be like very uncomfortable, and it's saying like it can feel daunting and like scary at first, but it's like this light is crumbling those things. So instead of like getting triggered or not wanting to face it, getting scared, it's like knowing that this is the divine and it's helping you to clear the way, like clear out all of that harmful junk so that you can be moved closer to divinity, purity, that purity energy we were talking about. And the next card is number 34, Becoming. So it says, yes, you are manifesting your divine purpose. Yet what is happening now is just one of many inspired brushstrokes on the canvas of your life's work. You are the artist who paints with trust, instinctive and spontaneous, with faith in the process unfolding. You are not the painter using numbered squares who has a finished version even before commencing the task, with a map for all of the steps. Your lack of plan renders you open and receptive to divine direction. You are capable of being moved by spirit. You are a brave adventurer. So celebrate what you are creating now and realize that it is a step in your major work of divine art. This life of yours, not to be planned, but to be experienced. Stroke after stroke, step after step, you shall witness the picture coming to life. It may not be what you expected, but it will be the most beautiful, extraordinary creation. This oracle brings you comfort that you are blossoming, and each petal unfolding is another step closer to your ultimate divine fulfillment. There is a message here too that a relationship or project that you are keen to move forward will bloom in its own unique way. Give it breathing room and be willing to let it become what it seeks to be. Even without a clear direction or plan, sometimes even because of that, there is an inner plan that can come to fruition. I love that. I love that so much. It's like, just let go, let things unfold. Everything is working out, becoming into what it's meant to become. So it's kind of like just trust, stop trying to plan things and just be in the moment and just experience, just live it. Have a lived experience, you know, which is what life is supposed to be. So I think that card just gives us comfort into like just accepting what's happening, accepting what's in this present moment, knowing this is not the end, and whatever is happening is just like one step on your journey that's getting you closer to whatever, you know, the finished outcome is supposed to be. So just try to be as open and receptive as possible at this time, accepting, okay, of whatever is happening. But of course, you know, like putting your boundaries into motion, like making sure that you're in the know when it has to do with things that are affecting you and impacting you, and that you are being respected, and that you are respecting, you know, those people that you are expected to respect, which I think we're expected to respect everyone. But you know, with this reading, this particular reading, it was like highlighting people that you have intimate relationships with, physical intimate relationships with. It was definitely highlighting that. Okay, so yes, I hope you figure that out and that it all works out for you guys. That was today's message for this full moon in Scorpio. I hope this reading has served you. I hope it has helped you shine a light on something. I do offer personal readings if you're interested in diving deeper into your specific situation. I will leave my email in the description box below so that you can contact me if you're interested. Thank you so much for being here with me today, for sharing your time, your energy. I look forward to seeing you guys around here again very soon. Take good care of yourselves, and until next time, bye.